Hey, what's happening, everybody? I hope everybody's having a wonderful, wonderful night, man. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. We're having, as usual, technical difficulties because, that's just what the enemy likes to do. And so they're not huge, big deals. We're going to overcome them. It's not a big deal at all, but it's going to take just a little bit to overcome. So, welcome, everybody. Don't worry about it. We're going to get started. Doesn't matter. Because Yahweh's word never returns void. And what we do in the name of Yahweh also never returns void. So, wow. Look at that. My phone just even started falling. Well, like I said, lots of things are changing in our world today. And, I thank Yahweh. I do. I thank him for this suction cup that better work. No, I thank him for all the things that he does. He prepares us a place, and he gives us that place, and that place is not necessarily always a home. Sometimes that place is a state of mind. You can have the best steak in the world, but you know what? Only Yahweh can give you the peace to enjoy it. And we need to remember that, especially these days, lots of things changing. So anyway, tonight we're going to have a great call tonight. Last week we talked about the oil. And this week, we're going to be talking about travel. That's right. We can change. We can do different things. And we're going to be talking about different things. And that just makes it makes it a whole lot more fun. Because I can assure you that most people are not talking about this kind of stuff in their churches. I guarantee you they're not doing it. But you know what? These are life things. These are things that are really important. And sometimes we need to know. Yeshua told his disciples to go out into the world and tell the truth. That means the gospel. So this is part of that process. And tonight we're going to be talking about that. There's a lot of people out there that are drinking that sovereign citizen moonshine. And hey, man, I know you got great intentions. And I know you mean well. I do. But and I know you're probably really seeking truth. But, man, slow down. Okay? We're going to be talking about the driver's license tonight. We're going to be talking about what does the driver's license do? Is it a contract that binds you to the state, that makes you a slave, and you're on a cheese wheel or whatever other nonsense you've decided to come up with? And I know because I've heard it all. And you know what? There was a time when I was talking about a little bit of that nonsense too, because I just didn't know. Well, tonight we're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to share with you guys tonight my journey, because I've been down this very same rabbit hole. And I'm going to talk about what I've done. And how I've circumvented that process. So, whoa. Somebody's on the job tonight. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, be patient with me. Sorry. Don't stare. You'll get a upset stomach. Maybe. I don't know. So, this little thing is just not sticking. And last week it was sticking. And this week I have hope for the sticky. So, again, I hope everybody's had a wonderful week. I hope it's all been good. Some really interesting stuff happened last week. Actually, a couple days ago. I sent out some really powerful stuff, man. And I guess it was pretty darn powerful because I asked a lot of you guys to pray for me about it. As soon as I got a confirmation back from one of our brothers that said, yes, Tim, I'm going to be praying for you about that. I read it. I'm totally with you on it. I'm in agreement with you. I'm going to pray with you on it because that's what we do. We share our stuff out there so that we can pray for each other. And that's pretty effective warfare when you're dealing with the enemy, when you're dealing with, that guy. And, and he doesn't like it. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if it was circumstance or what it was, but I can tell you as soon as I sent that, as soon as I got a call back from my brother Tommy, it disappeared. My computer completely crashed. It was like somebody took it over, shook the screen, and the whole thing went down. Thank God we got paper copies. But still, there's a lot of heavy stuff going out there. And you know what I mean? Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's not. But I can tell you this. I'm definitely at warfare. I'm definitely at warfare with these people and with this darkness. And the more you know about these guys, it almost seems like the worse it gets, sometimes, I guess. So we're just going to wait for everybody to get on here. We've got 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So we got 20 minutes. You guys got time to feed the dog, wipe the kids, hug each other, do all that. Get it all done, because tonight's going to be a really great call. We're going to be talking about the driver's license, like I said. And I'm going to tell you some things about the driver's license that probably most of you don't know. And we're going to also be talking about the upcoming travel class. And I'm laughing because it's really funny when you really think about the fiction that we live in, like when you tell, you shouldn't do this, by the way, but when parents will, let's do this, not you, let's just say, when parents in general will tell their kids, no, that's not what you saw. Whatever you thought you saw, you didn't see it. You just look this way and do what mommy says, right? Well, that kind of nonsense, and that's witchcraft is what that is, by the way, because you're manipulating a situation to say something that it's not, and it's a fraud. So what you're doing is you're practicing witchcraft. You really are, on your children, and you're telling this. And a lot of us had this growing up. We heard this. Oh, just do what mommy says, do what daddy says, and don't question anything, and that's that. And that's not okay. That's called bearing false witness, and that's not cool, and it's not a laughing matter either. So understand what's the significance between tonight. Tonight, I'm going to be talking to you about some of those fibs that the Department of Public Safety told you about, and the cops just chime in on it too, because they're just part of the fraud. So they're going to tell you about this stuff. So tonight we're going to be talking about those frauds. We're going to be talking about how do you deal with those things appropriately, and most importantly, what is the driver's license? There's a lot of people out there that are saying, oh, you need to rescind your driver's license and send it back, and this sort of thing. Is that true? Do we think we should do it? Why do you think you should do it? How does the straw man and the living man intersect with this whole driver's license thing? Tonight we're going to be talking about that. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I've figured out during this entire process, and been studying it now for, 6 years. But not just studying it, guys. I'm not a hobbyist. I live it. I live it every single day. And my brothers and sisters that are here on the call that know me personally absolutely know this to be true and correct. So you can believe it. You can don't believe it. You can go buy some toilet paper. You can put a face mask on. I don't care. But the bottom line is, at the end of the day, I'm going to tell the truth. And tonight, I hope that the ears that have ears to hear will hear this tonight. Because this is going to be good stuff. This is powerful stuff. This is things you need to know. And not just things you need to know, but these are things your children need to know. Because you know what? Our parents didn't tell us these things. Hey, Frankie, how you doing, buddy? Also, I'm going to be talking about the upcoming travel class. That's right. We got 20 minutes to burn. So I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about the upcoming travel class. Look, those of you guys that are trying to get answers to this whole travel thing, you're not going to get it like, let me ask a quick question and I'll just get the whole answer and we'll just figure it out. It's not going to come that way. And I know you want it to come that way, but it just doesn't come that way. It takes time. It takes a real time investment by you and the person that's teaching you. And if that person knows what they're doing, and I'd like to say that I do, and they're living it, then you know what? That's a good thing to go to. You certainly wouldn't take financial advice from a hobo, would you? I wouldn't. Well, no, I'm kidding. No, I really wouldn't. and generally speaking, I wouldn't. And I'm not looking for the needle in the haystack. So generally speaking, I wouldn't take it. And I wouldn't expect you to take advice from somebody that doesn't know what they're talking about either. So there's a lot of people out there that are talking about travel. There's a lot of people out there, what I call the $35 plate club. And they've got these stupid plates that cost $35. And somehow all of your freedom problems are all taken care of with just $35 and a stupid license plate. Wrong. And I've seen so many people get their cars impounded. So many persons get their cars taken, get their property taken, because they're just not doing it properly. You know? So tonight we're going to be talking about how do you get there? Okay? Am I going to tell it all to you tonight? No. But what I am going to do is I'm going to put you on the right track, so that if this is the right track for you and you feel a hunger and this is something you need to learn and you feel like you need to learn, you'll be able to go all the way to it and you'll be able to make a good decision. And that's always important. So that's going to be the purpose of tonight's call. I have forgotten to get some water. So what I'm going to do is just leave some music here while this is going here. All right. You see that? Mm-hmm. And we're going to be doing this tonight. It's going to be good. And as a matter of fact, everybody that's on Uber board tonight, I want everybody to come over to Facebook Live tonight. Everybody come on to Facebook Live. Let's do the comments here. We're going to do everything on Facebook Live tonight. The conference board is not really intersecting well with everything. It's just not working right. And it's going to take some... This is a computer I don't usually use very often, so it's different. And for whatever reason, the settings are different too. So it's just not the same. So I'm going to go run and grab some water, guys. Hang tight. Grab a bag of chips. Grab something. It's going to be good tonight. Get a notepad. Take notes. This is going to be good stuff tonight. Hang tight, guys. I'll be back in just a minute. I hope we get some water. And thanks for joining, everybody. Praise be to Yahweh. He's so good. See, that wasn't so bad now. And by the way, this backdrop that you're looking at is not one of those synthetic backdrops. Nope, it's too plain and boring for that. This is my office. This is where I work. This is where I pray, and this is where we put it down. Those of you guys that are running your trust and operating your trust, you know what? I'll give you guys a quick panorama here. Hold on a second. Show you what the old Damron office looks like here. You'll see, got the old firm mailing book working. Some motions and stuff we're working on. More cases we're working on. Just want to give you a quick sneak peek. Yeah. That's the position I like to be in right there. It's one of my favorite pictures right there. When I see this picture, this reminds me of our government. Right? Who's going to run for president next? Is it the one in the middle? The one on the right? The one on the left? You know, it makes you just wonder, you know? Some other stuff. Oh, wow. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but that handsome guy right there, that was me. Before the haircut. That's right. Sued Hair Club for Men, and they took their hair back. I didn't make the payment. No, I'm just kidding. It didn't happen like that. But age certainly happened. That's what happened. Age. H-E-E. Crazy. So anyway, so we're going to get all this going here. So welcome everybody to the call. We're gonna, like I said, we're going to have a great call tonight. We're going to be talking about the driver's license. We're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about getting yourself ready. I'm going to tell you, there are some of my students, one of my recent students, and I'll just throw his name out there. Chris, congratulations, by the way. One of my recent students finished all of his paperwork and got it filed, went down, tried to, and is opening up his bank accounts, getting those things going and this and that, and running into a bit of resistance, just because they know when you reserve your rights and when you do this process properly, you're protected, and you're not protected by some little business card stuck in your wallet. That's not going to protect you. We're going to talk about that today, and I don't want to belittle that process because I know he's just trying to do the right thing, but we're going to giggle a little bit about it, just a little bit, okay? But it's for the benefit of him learning, and I hope that he'll be on the call tonight. So, hey, welcome, Rebecca. I'm glad you made it. I had a really great time with you guys yesterday. It was so good to see y'all and the kiddos. And we sure miss Mr. Owen. We really missed him. So you tell Mr. Owen we're coming up there. and he's going to meet the tickle monster. That's right. And y'all be serious. He's like, they're like family. But anyway, all right, hang tight, everybody. We're gonna get started. We're just getting rolling here. And like I said, I just want to welcome everybody that's here on the call. I'm really excited to have had the longevity to say that I'm going into my 6th year of doing this. I don't know many people that can say that. I don't know many people that can say that and have the victories. So. Oh, he's gonna get it. Oh, he's gonna get it. Yeah, you tell him. You tell him he's gonna get tickled till he passes out. It's my favorite little buddy Owen. He's a great kid. Anyway. Just hang tight, everybody. We're gonna get started in minutes. About 3 minutes till 6. 4 minutes, everybody. 4 or 5 minutes. We're gonna get started. I'm super excited. I'm so glad to have all of you guys here, and I'm really glad that we're gonna have the opportunity to go through this, and we're gonna really get into some meat of the driver's license and what it is, and you know, a lot of times we will kill things that we don't understand. You ever watch those old caveman movies and like and they make noises, and then they see like something cool like a motorcycle or something, and they just shoot it, or something dumb like that? Don't laugh, because we do the same thing. We all do the same thing. When you start waking up to this process, you're going to start questioning everything around you. And you know what? That's a healthy thing to do. However, know that in this quest for truth that you're seeking, Yahweh is not the only one that knows that that's what you're doing. Guess who else knows what you're doing? The great deceiver, the one that wants you back, the one that wants you defeated, the one that wants you crying in the corner somewhere, that guy. That's right. And he's going to try to defeat you in any way he can. He's going to try to confuse you. And last week we talked about, you know, the oil, and, you know, and America is low on the oil that really matters. The one that shows the fruits of the Spirit, the integrity. And we're just really low. We're missing on that right now. We're missing so much stuff right now. And the people have lost their way. I'm going to tell you, 80-90% of the people out there have no more morals anymore. They don't understand the temple. They don't understand the vessel that they carry, you know? And they're gambling. Yeah. They're gambling to the very end. And let me tell you something. In this deal, there's only winners and losers. You're either going to win or you're going to lose. And if you could build the best race car to win, wouldn't you not put the best components possible into it? Wouldn't you? If you wanted to win? Well, what kind of components are we putting into our life so that we can win? The Bible says that we're all running for this prize. Yeah. And that's the prize of completion, of salvation. Real salvation. Okay? Not that blab it and grab it grace talk that we hear out there. Because that ain't going to get it done, guys. Because that's just too easy. You can be disobedient and just live in sin anyway? No. Unfortunately, that's just not how it works. I know. It's not fair. You're not in charge. Sorry. I don't know what else to tell you. We got a couple more minutes. We're going to get started in a minute, so I'm trying not to burn up too much time here. But I just want you guys to know that everything that you do counts. Everything that you do is either productive or non-productive. And if you're on this quest and you're looking for truth, you need to weigh it. The Bible says to study and show yourself approved. And if you can do that, and if what you're learning can pass the test, and you make sure that it's pure and it's right, then you apply it. And that's when you're going to find real and true salvation from this process. I'm going to get on real quick. And I know I see everybody on the call, so let me do this real quick. I'm going to move everybody over to, let's see here, see if we can get plugged in here. Welcome everybody. We're going to get started here in just a couple minutes. Alright, we're not connecting. Alright, there we go. Alright, Peggy, can you hear me? Peggy, can you hear me? Alright, so here's what we're going to do. Everybody's going to come on Facebook Live tonight. I gotta fix everybody real quick, so let me just throw out some messages here real quick. Thanks for hanging in there, everybody. I sure appreciate you guys. I appreciate your support, your prayers, everything, man. I couldn't ask for a better gig. I just couldn't, and I thank you guys for all of your friendship, your support, everything. Peggy's help, everything. So let me just tell her. So we're letting her know that she can join on Facebook Live. There we go. All right. So again, welcome everybody that's here. I hope that we're doing well. I hope everybody's here with us. I'm just making sure that we're all on the call here. Jeez, let me try to run on here real quick and just tell everybody. We're going to circumvent the process. Hey, welcome everybody to the call. Can you guys hear me okay? I've got you guys unmuted, most of you guys unmuted. I just want to do a quick sound check before we get started, make sure everybody's good. I had to switch computers. Chad, you can hear me? Everybody can hear me? Awesome. Everything's good. Well, then wonderful. Let's get started, everybody. All right. I'm going to switch you guys to speakerphone. Hopefully this will work effectively. All right. Let's see. All right. There we go. All right. I'm going to mute everybody down. Welcome everybody to the call. You know, I just want to thank everybody for being here, and I just want to thank you guys for the support that I've received from all of you, whether it be your prayers, even just the little waves, even the smiley faces, everything. I just want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me, and I just think it's great. I just really do, because I just have nothing else to say, but I just think it's great. And tonight we're going to be having a really unique call. But before we do that, I want to open us up with some prayer, because we need some balance. We got some problems, so and it's not a perfect place, right? So we're going to talk about trying to make that a little bit better. But we're going to start with some prayer. If you guys could bow your heads, please. Father in heaven, I just thank you for this opportunity to be counted as one of your believers, Father. And I just pray, Father, that you just be with us tonight, Father, and that you bless every word that comes from my mouth, Father. Let it bring honor and glory to you, Father, in all that we do, Father. And we thank you for all that is good, because you are good. And we give you praise, honor, and glory, no matter the circumstance, no matter what's happening. In your precious name we pray. Amen. All right, man. I want to thank everybody again for being here. It's so wonderful to have all of you guys here. Thanks. It's been a good week. It's been a busy week. Like I was saying earlier, I had an issue with, I sent some paperwork out. I filed a motion and I asked for prayer, and I sent it out to my prayer partners. And as soon as one of my prayer partners responded back and said, yes, I read it, I'm in agreement, I believe, boo, 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 It's good. The computer completely crashed. So, thank goodness I have an extra computer. I don't use this one very often, but it does work and everything's good. And so I've been rerouting everything through this computer, which is a little bit dusty and it hasn't been used in a while. So, you know what? I just thank Yahweh for him being here and all that he does for us. So tonight we're going to be talking about more of a legal topic. We're going to be talking about the driver's license. And here's why I'm going to talk about the driver's license. I saw a gentleman today, and he posted this really neat card, really colorful, and it said American National, American Foreign National is what it said on it, right? And it had this fee schedule of all these little rights. And I would have to put my reading glasses on to read this, okay? So, not easily readable for people over 40, but readable nevertheless. And he puts it out there and he's very proud of it, like dun dun dun. And he's happy as can be. He is down the street. And this is one of those circumstances where this gentleman really had his underwear on his head, okay? And what does that mean? It's a metaphor, clearly, because he didn't have his underwear on his head. But if you could just visualize putting your underwear on your head, okay? If you were to put it on your head, you would probably end up blocking one side out because you'd have to look out one of the legs over here. And it would just be very cumbersome, right? And you would be very impaired. You wouldn't be able to see very well. And therefore, you couldn't necessarily react properly. And sometimes when we get a little bit of knowledge, we lose our minds because it's freedom, okay? Let's show you another example of that. When somebody wins the lotto, right? They lose their minds. Why? Because it's freedom, right? When Vanna White turns the right number and somebody at the wheel loses their mind because they spun the wheel, they do it because they're celebrating a belief of freedom, a rising up, okay? And that in itself is a pure and beautiful thing. However, when you put your underwear on your head and you run down the street, your victories are very short-lived, and unfortunately, a lot of times you end up feeling very foolish and humbled at the very end. How do I know this? Because I have done this personally. So, it happens, man. It totally happens. So, then I proceeded with a question of how would you enforce this? It's just, hey, I'm not picking on him, nothing else. Just, I see your fee schedule. How would you enforce it? And is there any case law? Has anybody else enforced it like this and has success with it? I mean, because if it's so sellable and it's so good and you're just down the street at the ice cream stand with your underwear on your head, then you should have all the answers, right? Silence. Because he didn't have the answers. So tonight, I felt really bad because all these other folks that jumped onto that call also saw the same thing, and I don't want to embarrass the guy because the guy's trying to find truth. And our job here at the House of Yah Community Outreach is to tell the truth, is to provide the truth, is to service the community with truth. And that's what we do. So just in advance, before we get really started here on my rant, won't be too long, but before we get really started here, I just want to reserve all of our rights. That's right, all of our rights for freedom of speech, for our freedoms to meet collectively as a group, because that's what we're doing tonight. Whether you're meeting with us live here on Facebook or whether you're on the call, either one of these, you're still meeting with us. So that's our right, and that's our right to congregate. That's our right to meet, and that's what we're doing tonight. So we just want to reserve all of those rights in advance. This is absolutely not legal advice. This is living advice. This is factual advice. And it's not really even advice. I'm just going to tell you what's up. And that's it at the end of the day. I know, shut up and just tell us what's up. I know, I'm getting to it. Just, got to have a little compassion, a little showmanship of some sort. So, let's talk about the driver's license. Well, no, let me pick on this guy just a little bit longer. Not too much longer. But it's important. So, I need to expose this other part of the situation without picking on him and make him feel bad, because they don't want him to make him feel bad at all. We want you to continue. I want you to continue to learn this process. Learn travel and driving. If you don't learn it from me, learn it from somebody. But learn it. And learn it right. And learn it right. That sounds like learn it right. No, we're not going to learn it right. But make sure you learn it properly. Okay? Sorry, Texas is really growing on me. Because I'm from here. It just happens. Anyway, so let's not pick on him anymore. Let's talk about the driver's license. So, no, I'm going to go back and pick on him. And the reason I'm going to pick on him is because it is about the driver's license. Back to the driver's license, sorry. So, there was a comment that was posted on there that said that you need to rescind the driver's license, and it's bad, and it's some other stupid stuff he said with it. But okay, and he said it with a good heart, so I mean, I totally get it. So let's talk about the driver's license. What exactly is the driver's license? Let me sit and wave to everybody here. So a driver's license is simply this. It is a public notice that you are bonded to operate in commercial commerce with a motor vehicle. Say that one more time. A driver's license is public notice, okay, through an agency, a public agency, de jure agency, that gives notice that you are bonded to operate a motor vehicle within the state of wherever you live. And you don't have to get a driver's license when you move to, say, New York, because if you do, there's treaties between the states that are, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. But anyway, there's treaties between the states. So whatever you have in one state is going to carry over into the next state, okay? And that means fee schedules, that means DWIs, that means not paying your child support. All that stuff is going to follow you around. And so what does that tell you about the driver's license exactly? What does that tell you what the driver's license is? Well, the driver's license is a board. It's a form of public notice that lets people and agencies and cops and things like that know what kind of person you are. Now, some people will say that it is a contract with the state, it enslaves you to the state, and now you have to pay tickets because of it. That is completely false. That is sovereign citizen moonshine 101. You're drunk, go home, sleep it off. And it's true, it really is. I know it sounds good, man. And I know a lot of people are really out on this deal, but understand that Satan, his job is to keep you confused, okay? So if you're seeking truth, know that there's somebody trying to keep you back in the cage if you're trying to get out of your cage, okay? And that's just the process of how this whole thing works. So let's talk a little bit more about this bonded thing. What did I say about being bonded? Well, let's talk about your driver's license again. Those of you guys that don't know what your driver's license looks like, please get it out. Those of you guys that know what your driver's license looks like and you know your driver's license number, I'm convinced that you know what your driver's license is. Those of you that don't know your driver's license number, get it out and look at it. Okay? Because that means you don't really pay attention to your driver's license. And that's okay too. Not everybody does. So, if we look at our driver's license, what does your driver's license have? It has a number, right? It's got a name. It's got an address. It's got an expiration date. And it's got an origination date. Now, let me tell you what else has all of those very same features. Your credit card. It does. That's right. And you know what? If you don't believe me, get out your credit card. It's going to have a number. It's going to have a member sense date, usually. Unless you're like at one of those really cheap banks that will take anybody. Then you probably don't have an origination date. But most do, some don't, whatever. But you do have an expiration date. You do have a CCV number on there. And some credit cards even offer your picture on there, just like your driver's license. So, why do you think cops will have like a 4-second conversation with you and then it's, let me see your driver's license? Why do they do that? Because your driver's license is a path to commerce, okay? So understand that the country is in bankruptcy, don't forget, and people need to get paid. Police officers want your driver's license because they think of it as a credit card. They want to swipe it. They want to get paid. They want to run it through the system. Because by doing that, they actually do get paid. not in lawful money, but they get paid in bank credits. Every time they run your license, there's a little bill that goes to the Treasury that the cops provided you service that has to be discharged. And that's one of the ways that these guys get paid. So, this is why they have 4-second conversations with you and then all of a sudden want your driver's license. And if you don't give it to them, they lose their flipping minds. If you don't believe me, don't try it yourself. It might get you tased. Google on YouTube. There's plenty of idiots on YouTube. You can watch them. And they go through these processes and these little charade games with them to say, ultimately, and sometimes they don't give them the license and sometimes they do. But knowing when to do it and why to do it is key. So, dumping the driver's license, bad idea. And here's why. You may need to rent a car somewhere. That's right. You know, those of you guys that know that I traveled the country for 2.5 years in my RV in a van that did not have state plates, and I did not use my driver's license not one single time because I never got stopped. Why? Because I wasn't in anybody's jurisdiction and I wasn't doing anything stupid. All for 2.5 years. That's pretty good, right? It's like holding your breath. And it takes... So, but there were times when my van was in the shop and it needed to get fixed. And I had to rent a car. What are you going to do then? Because you're paying to rent a car for the purpose of commercial commerce. Whether you're doing it or not, that's what you're paying for. So what are you going to do when you're 5 states away from your house, from your friends? What are you going to do? It's going to suck. So maybe we need to rethink this whole driver's license thing a little bit. Let's talk a little bit about more of the driver's license, okay? And by the way, I have a travel class coming up on the 17th and 18th, okay? And we're going to talk way more than just about the driver's license. Those of you guys that are in ticket court, those of you guys that are, you know, getting harassed by the cops all the time, you know what? This is your class, okay? Yes, it costs a little bit, but you know what? Tickets cost a little bit too. If you could pay one ticket one more time and that be the last ticket you ever pay, would you pay it? I would pay it. This is just like that. And this class is going to work the same way. Once you take this class and you understand the parameters of what's going on, number one, during a stop, and number two, during the whole court process of the whole consent and court process, and this whole bringing your birth certificate in there with the straw man and all that stupid stuff, I will show you how to shut these things down before you even show up to court. Oops, I hope somebody didn't hear that. I'm sure they did. But I will show you how to do it effectively, okay? And of course, you know, every situation is different. And what I'm talking about is the situation where there are no victims or there are no property damage, okay? So if you're in a ticket situation like that where there's no ticket, no property damage, there's no victim, no corpus delicti, this is the class for you. And I'm telling you, when was the last time somebody got hurt by some tinted windows? But they certainly write those tickets every day now, don't they? Anyway, let's get back to the driver's license. I want to talk to you guys a little bit more about the driver's license. The driver's license is a bond, okay? And you renew it every so often, right? And you pay a little bit more to renew it, to make it, you know, to go longer intervals between renewing, right? Well, what are you really renewing? I mean, are you really going to change that much in 4 years? Some people do. But do you really? I mean, are you going to be like unrecognizable in 4 years? I mean, y'all saw my picture up there. I was 18 up there, and I still look like me. You know, my hair moved. It went from here to here. But, I mean, and it changed. But it still looks like me. It still resembles me. So what's really going on? Well, your driver's license is, like I said, an instrument, okay? And it is a bond. It is truly a bond. That's exactly what it is. And that's when I said earlier, whether you're bonded to operate a vehicle in commercial commerce. That's right. So here's the catch. Here's the catch-22, boys and girls. It's knowing when to pull that license out. It's knowing when to identify yourself or give them the license. So what we have to understand with the driver's license is that the driver's license is simply this. it tells them about you, okay? If you go and you get lots and lots of tickets, and you cop for every one of those tickets, and you pay them like a good little pay person, you know what? They're going to pull you over more often, and write you tickets. Why? Because you keep paying them. If you owned a carpet company and you cleaned a carpet and somebody called you every week and they wanted you to keep cleaning their carpets, would you not just go keep cleaning their carpets? Of course you would. It's good business sense. They're cleaning your wallet, not your carpets. But that's what they're doing. Okay? So don't be scared of the driver's license. Understand what the driver's license is. Yes, it is not a contract with the state. I'm just going to tell you that now. It is a bond with the state. Now, do you stick your head in the ground and say, not me, I don't want to participate? You can, but then you're going to miss out on a lot of things. Yeah. If you need to rent a car, you're screwed. Because the passport, you can't rent cars with passports. I've tried. You cannot do it. I don't care if it's a 4-star, 5-star passport. You still can't do it. Those are facts, okay? So the driver's license is really a background. So what I teach in my travel class is to invest in your background. If you're able to put up all your fee schedules, like the guy that I was telling you about with the little card, if you could put that, then you know they got notice. And now, you remember I was talking to you guys about the treaties between state to state. So that means if it's filed in New Mexico, it's good to go in Florida or Texas or Oklahoma, because there are treaties between the states. So having a bunch of paperwork is great because it makes you kind of smart up here. Not knowing how to use that paperwork makes you stupid right here, because now you've just hit a wall and you can't go any further. But we're still celebrating, we're still running down the street, but it doesn't matter, because you've already given it up. You've already lost it. And I don't know what happened here. Let's see.
I'm Michelle Obama.
I don't know what happened here.
Know that man. I love to immerse myself in.
Oof. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, we lost the music there. I wanted to get the music back. Anyway, so the driver's license is an instrument. It's an instrument of equity. Okay? So rather than running from it and shooting it, you know, like the cowboys did back in the day when they don't understand stuff, we need to learn about it. We need to learn how to use it. How do you use it? Well, would you use your driver's license to get on a plane? Not if you had a passport. I don't think you should. So those of you guys that are interested in taking the travel class that's coming up, the first day, we're going to be talking, it's a 2-day class, 3 hours long, both days. It's going to be a full hands-on class. We're going to be working on stuff. We're going to be doing paperwork left and right. It's going to be good. But the first day, we're going to be going through your paperwork. And your paperwork is the same thing my paperwork is. And I'm going to show you how I filled out my paperwork. And you can fill out your paperwork the same way. These are the same templates that will set you apart from everyone else. Okay? If you don't want to be lumped into all of this, if you really want to do this thing properly, understand the driver's license, but understand how it works. And then make it work to your advantage. Yeah. Because what happens is, bonds mature, man. And guess what happens when you don't claim your bonds? Somebody else does. Yeah. So, if we're doing all this, and we're missing out on all of this, then we're really missing out on a lot of things, and now we're having to work extra hard because we're supplementing what we're doing. Does that make sense, everybody? So, and a lot of times what I'm seeing in processes is that people are trying to fix the straw man, like the corrective status thing that you'll hear a lot. Oh, we're going to do a name change. So we're going to change the name of the straw man, the uppercase name, to the lowercase living man name. And that's going to make everything fine. No, it doesn't make everything fine. Because what you've done is you've converted the straw man, the legal entity, into a living entity. And now you're definitely a slave to that entity. So what you want to do is we want to fix the entity, okay? And understand what the entity actually is. What does it actually do? Because right now, for a lot of people, it's just lost at sea. But the entity itself is a valuable commodity. And if it wasn't a valuable commodity, people wouldn't be asking you for your signature everywhere. And that's true. You ever notice that? Everywhere you go, everybody wants to sign. Sign here, sign here, sign this, put in your PIN number, do this and this. These are all forms of electronic signatures and physical signatures, okay? And it's because you are a valuable commodity. You are worth a lot. You ever heard the term, you're worth your weight in gold? Every one of you, you are, okay? And not because I said so, because it just really is. And so, what we don't want to do, we want to understand the straw man. We want to understand the corporate side and the business side of what he does. Those of you guys that are interested in doing that, this travel class is step 2 in that process. The first step is the UCC, non-UCC process and creating your trust. The second step is fixing your traveling stuff so that you can travel. Those of you guys that are in tickets right now, and you could do either one of them first or second, it doesn't matter. It's just that I did it. The first thing I did was this, and then I figured out the travel stuff, and so I went and did the travel stuff so that I could get myself right. And those of you guys that are interested in doing that, the class is coming up on the 17th and 18th. The first day, like I said, is nothing but templates. We're going to go through every one of them. I'm going to show you how to fill them out, show you where to file them, how to file them, and all the problems that you're going to run into, more than likely, with people trying to keep you from filing them. And I will show you how to overcome those rapidly. And the second day is going to be nothing but legal. That's right. It's not legal advice. Nope. These are personal accounts of my interactions in the legal courtroom, and I'm allowed to discuss these sorts of things, of course. And then I can share these cases and these case situations with you in a discussion format, and if you feel like they may benefit you in a ticket situation, and they probably will, this is going to be the class for you. There's a lot of people out there that talk the talk, man, but they're not walking the walk. Matter of fact, one of my dear friends is on here now, and a couple of years ago that we got a ticket together, or actually her husband and I got a ticket together, and I just happened to be with them. And that ticket was dismissed 2.5 hours after it was written. Let me say that one more time. 2.5 hours after it was written. Who's doing that out there? Who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. You know why? Not because I'm a smart guy. It's because I understand what's going on. And we will help you understand what's going on so that if you are in this process, that second day is going to give you that information that you need. Now, don't think you're done with us, okay? All of my students that finish the class, I ask you guys and invite you guys to come to our private page here on Facebook. That's right. It's the Freedom page. You won't find it if you're not part of the Freedom page because it's for students only. And those of you guys that are interested in growing and really continuing this process, you'll be in a group of people that have exactly the same paperwork you do, that have exactly dealt with the same struggles you've dealt with. And a lot of times, sometimes you guys are even in the same state, so you guys can really help each other out. So, and of course, I'm always popping in and answering questions and so forth all the time. It's completely free. And that's what you get when you get into this class. I hope that I've made it clear. I hope that we understand what these things are. I'm going to open everything up for questions. So if you guys have questions about the driver's license, those of you guys on Facebook, you just can, sorry, I'm going to adjust some things over here. Those of you guys on Facebook, if you have questions, you can just type them right out here on the bottom. And if I have to, I'll put my reading glasses on so I can read them, but I'm pretty sure I can read everything good here. If you guys have questions, ask them. This is the time to ask them. It's totally free. Doesn't cost anything. And this is why I do this. Because if I didn't do this, my phone would be blowing up all day long with people asking the same 90 questions. So I decided to start doing this about 6 years ago to try to just help more people and be more effective and not run out of juice and oil so fast. So If you guys have questions, comments about any of this, those of you guys on the Uber board, Uber conference board, just press star to unmute, and I am happy to answer any of your questions. I want to welcome, let's see, I've got a new caller from New York here. I've got one from Libby that's here. We've got California here as always. We've got San Antonio here as always. We've got Fort Wayne, Indiana. Want to welcome everybody here. We've got especially Corvette here from the wonderful Chad. And it's good to see you, buddy. I love that, man. I want to see some pictures of these Corvettes you got there someday. You need to put those out. Don't be stingy. Don't be holding back. William Curry, I want to welcome you. Glad you're here today from Arlington, Texas. And, of course, my dear friend Peggy. She's also here from Texas. Or here from, I almost said from Texas. She's in my heart, man. No, she's in Colorado. So I want to welcome Peggy that's also here as well. If you have questions about any of this stuff, if there's stuff that's floating through and running around, throw it out there, man. Students, if you have questions about your paperwork that you've gone through this weekend, go ahead. Let me know. Fort Wayne, Indiana, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Mike. I heard this thing about having a dead body in your case, and I was wondering, because they talked about if you have a dead body in your case, no matter what case it is, that you can go ahead and take the judges or prosecutors' bond money.
With a dead body, you said?
Yeah.
So what do you mean, like, as in you're bringing in, as in you're talking about, are you talking about the dead body as in being the legal fiction?
No,
like a murder?
my case, this was a accidental death in the workplace. And
Okay.
it was my coworker. He got a foot injury and he died. I got a foot injury and I survived it. But I put his obituary in my case and I prayed for him and stuff. And the two lawyers that brought forth no witnesses. And I heard from another guy that just go ahead and take all their bond money.
Well,
Had a dead body in the case that it's fair to do, but I was scared to do it.
yeah, you're not, well, because you're not a representative of the Seskacue, of the person that passed away, unfortunately. You're not going to have any standing to do that. Your standing is limited to, unfortunately, your damages only, because of that. Now, what does happen though, and so let me clarify this bond thing for you too. So what happens is that claims that are filed are insured, okay? They're insured, I know I'm not supposed to talk about this, but they're insured in the court. The lawyers basically go buy an insurance policy, and they insure their claim. Now, when they lose, their claim, they have to pay the claim. They have to pay so you're putting up the bond, but just as if you renege on any other bond, you will have to satisfy the bond. So that process is circumvented typically by the insurance company, and then the courts will delegate your relief in a form of a judgment, unless you have some pretty big strings up there to do some banking in the courthouse, which is pretty hard to do for somebody that's pro se. I've never seen anybody with a CAFR account that wasn't a bar attorney. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really didn't want to mess with that part of it. I was, just put him in my case file because he was my coworker, and it was a bad work environment.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and so that didn't have to happen.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Wow. Yeah.
With
So
my first-hand knowledge, the other party didn't even interview him at all.
So now, do you know the family of this coworker very well?
Yeah, I went to the funeral and everything, and occasionally some family members would come by, but I'm always busy and doing something.
Yeah, you might want to. So they have a claim, and you could testify or help them out with their claim. But it's just that's where that's the proper order of that where that needs to go is you need to help them out with their claim. You don't really have enough to bring a claim on your own, but you definitely have enough to help them if they want your help. But what'll happen is that their bonds will if they lose the case, then their bonds are going to have to pay it, and they're going to have to pay that claim, and that's how that's how that's going to come together for them more than likely. Anyway, but man, I'm really sorry that happened. That really sucks. I'm sorry, man. That's a rough gig.
Yeah, he was a nice guy, truck driver for a really long time, and trucking companies get owned by other trucking companies get bought out, and he was right there at the retirement, and something bad happened, and he died.
Wow. I'm sorry, man.
He's always nice to me.
Wow. That's unfortunate. And I'm so sorry that that's going on. Hey, Columbus, welcome everybody that's on the call here on Facebook.
I'm Michelle Obama.
Let's see. I don't know how this happened.
I'm allowed to immerse myself in good
There we go. Anyway, any other questions, comments? I hope I answered your question best I could.
Yeah, because I was afraid of going that route.
No, I think you're good. Yeah, you don't need to because it's just not your battle. That's going to be the family's battle, but I would make yourself available for the family, definitely, in case they need you. Awesome.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, brother. All right, another question I had was here on Facebook. Carrie is saying, so do we keep the non-expired driver's license with your travel doc? Well, you need to understand that. So remember what I was saying earlier about fixing the straw man. Okay, we don't want to fix the straw man. The straw man is the straw man, and that's just what he's going to be, or she is going to be. So, who's on your driver's license? The straw man, right? So, the straw man still operates independently. He just operates on his own and separate from you. If those of you that have your trust set up, you should be the executor or trustee of the estate of, and you just simply just get to use his stuff because that's why you manage the trust. And Columbus Dem is asking me for the cost of the class. Great question. So the cost of the class is $300. However, if you are a returning student or a student that has taken a prior class of mine, take $100 off. So it's just $200 for you guys. So, and what that means, Columbus, is that if somebody takes in the first class, they're going to pay $300 for the first class, and then after that, it's just $200 for every other class. So any of the other classes you want to take. Now, I am going to be talking about a debt and discharge class that's going to be coming up early October. Okay, probably around October 5th or so, somewhere in that market, and I'll let you guys know as soon as I get close to that. And that's going to be talking about tax time. Those of you guys that have your trust set up, we're going to show you how to put your house in order, and so that you can get the proper dividends. This isn't tax advice. It's just how I do my taxes. And my CPA is actually going to be on the call, and will be in the class as well. He's always invited, and he always shows up. Peggy will also be there as well. I'm inviting her to the class as well to be there, and super excited. And that's going to be in the first part of October. So those of you guys that are interested in the tax and equity class, please send me an instant message. Lots of stuff has changed. It's very different from last year. The information that I've got this year, because tax laws have changed and everything else, it's much, much faster. It's much, much easier. That class is going to be a $500 class. Those of you guys that are returning students, take $100 off. It's a $400 class for you guys. This class is set up for people that own businesses, people that are operating out of trust, and people that are self-employed. If you're any of those people, this is the great class for you. If you're not any of those people, this is not the class for you. So I hope that makes sense. Any other questions, comments? We've got a few more minutes before we're going to cut the call short. So if there's any calls, anybody else, and remember that the travel class is a 2-day class. So it's a 3-hour class. We're going to go from 6 to 9 p.m. the 17th and 18th. That's Friday and Saturday night. 3 hours. It's going to be a grinder, but it's a lot of information, and I want to make sure that you guys are successful in this process. So I've got my reading spectacles on here so I can read about anything coming in on through Facebook. Any of you guys have questions, this is the time to ask. You know what? Don't gamble with your freedom, okay? There's plenty of people that are out doing this travel thing wrong, okay? And all you got to do is Google them because they're all over Facebook. That's right. They're the ones that are getting tased. They're getting beat up. They're getting taken out of their cars. And it's happening all over the country. Almas Park, it's a place where I grew up, Alamo Heights Independent School District. And Almas Park is under a heavy lawsuit right now. Why? Because they decided to beat up some people and take their guns and do all kinds of stuff to them that was inappropriate. Here's the problem. Those guys don't have any fee schedules filed. So what do they have to do? They have to mitigate their damages. What does that really mean? That means that you got to bribe somebody. Yeah. You got to find an attorney that wants to work, that feels like he could take this case without pissing too many people off and can get everybody paid and everybody's happy. And let me tell you something. When you're talking about civil rights cases where you're getting beat up and this and that, I've been there. And I'm telling you, you would think these lawyers would jump up out of the moon saying, oh, I'll help you, like they do on TV, right? That's not true. So what do you need to do? You need to protect yourself. That means having the proper fee schedules filed and noticed so that when they do pull you over and they run your background, that this stuff shows up on your background, and that way notice is already given. Now, we had a caller earlier that was talking about going after these lawyers' bonds. Let me tell you something. If you got a cop that's oppressing you and he's seen your fee schedule because he ran your background, you have absolute cause to go against this guy's bond, and we'll help you with that. We'll help you with that. That's right. I got a claim right now pending with Houston County Sheriff's Department. Yeah, I don't care if you hear me, because we're coming. We're coming. Oh, believe that. And that fee schedule, it's not a joke, man. It's for real. And this is what we have to do in this day and age. Because, honestly, the reality is, these people are going to protect their own. Okay? These lawyers are going to protect their own. The judges are going to protect their own. The cops are going to protect their own. They're all going to protect each other. And yet they work for you. So what does that mean? That means you need to sharpen your pencil. That means you need to sharpen your game. That means you need to have some real notices out there to protect you. So that way if somebody does something like this to you, you don't have some stupid card in your wallet saying, oh, you better act right because I got this card. It's not going to fly. Because this stuff is real. And you got to come with some real stuff. Because if you don't, you're going to get laughed out of every room. You know, the Bible says that pride comes before the fall. And a lot of times when we put that underwear on our head and we run down the street and we think we know and stuff, that's our pride talking. And that costs. It costs you big. And it'll make you lose every time. I hope that I've made myself clear. I hope people understand what the driver's license is. Number one, it's just a driver's license, man. And it's a tool either you can use or you could not use. And if you don't use your stuff, guess what? Somebody else is going to use your stuff. So, yes, the driver's license can totally burn you. But that's because you're not doing anything with it. That's because you're not making the investment to do what you need to do to protect your rights. Okay? There's an assumption, there's a false assumption out there that everybody's got rights. Well, it's true. We do have rights. But you don't have them if you can't speak them. You don't have them if you can't tell them. You have nothing. And rather than running around and trying to fix the straw man and turn him into the living man, maybe you need to define who the living man really is. And let me tell you who the living man is. The living man or the woman is the one that's going to be standing before Yahweh And you're going to give an account for how you did this deal. Okay? You're going to give an account for that. And let me tell you something. That's what matters. That's the one we need to work on. The legal fiction needs to be put up somewhere, and you need to pull it down and use it when you need to use it. But you need to be operating within yourself. And I think that's what people are missing in this process. People, we're so deceived. We're like the step parent that does the mom stuff and the dad stuff. And what happens when the other real party comes in and tries to be the step parent? They're kind of excommunicated because little Jimmy's used to mommy doing everything for him. And Larry can't do it like mommy does because mommy's been doing it longer. And we get stuck in those little things like that, you know? And that's where we need to focus. So that's what I'm saying, you know, and we get confused because we don't know who the roles are. But once you separate yourself and you do this properly and you really know who you are, that's when you're in your circle. That's when you're doing what you should be doing. I want to thank everybody for being on the call tonight. I hope that it's been fruitful. I want to say hello to everybody again in Facebook land. I hope that this helps. If you have any questions about travel, driving, your driver's license, any of that stuff, hey man, I'm not going to make fun of you. I won't. We might chuckle together, but I won't make fun of you, I promise. And but I'll help you. So send me a message. I'm happy to help you. Those of you guys that are interested in the class, go to our webpage, House of Yah, communityoutreach.com. Scroll down. You're going to see all the classes that we offer, which is quite a few. But look for the travel class because that's coming up on the 17th and 18th. If you want to take the other classes, you can, but they just won't be a live class. Those are pre-recorded classes. So if you want to get on this live class, I'm going to be answering questions on the fly, helping you guys overcome any objection that you're having regarding tickets, travel, any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, I take advantage because if you don't, well, you're going to miss out. With that being said, I'm just going to thank everybody again for being here. I pray that you guys have a wonderful, wonderful, great week. And if you have any questions, hit me up. I'll answer your questions, I promise. You guys be super blessed in all you do. Remember that Yahweh loves you, and He thinks you're so special. Please don't forget that. And we'll see you guys next Monday. Same bat time, same bat channel. God bless everyone. Good night.